This is the Common Link Podcast.
All right, it looks like we have Nigel and Dylan.
Hello. Hi, it's Nigel.
I'm going to run down the rules real quick for anyone who's interested. Round one, you're going to ask 3 one-word questions to Dylan.
Okay.
And then at the end of those 3 questions, you'll get to have a guess as to what the common link may be. Now, for Dylan, you get to answer with just yes, no, or maybe.
That sounds good.
Okay.
I'm ready to roll, as they say in the business.
Oh, wow. Dylan, you have anything you'd like to add?
Let's get it on then.
All right, then. Here we go, Dylan. Animation.
Yes, sir.
All right, feels good. Feels good. I know what you're saying. Let's see. Canada.
I like Canada. Mm-hmm.
There's a dirty bastard, this one, I'll tell you. Let me see. Character.
Bad guys. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's better than being naked on Facebook. Let me tell you that. I'll tell you.
All right, we really narrowed it down, probably a bit too much. Do you have a guess, Nigel? Do you have a guess as to who Dylan is or what the common link may be?
The common link, I believe, I'm going to say the X-Men.
Oh, wow, that's a good guess. So, Dylan, were you at all involved in the X-Men?
No, sure I wasn't.
Okay, this is getting interesting. I didn't
Bloody hell. I think I need to have a heart attack from a bacon sandwich. Go ahead, Stevie.
Yeah, this really took a turn for the best. So we're gonna throw it to Dylan now. Dylan, what's a one-word question that might narrow down where you and Nigel know each other?
Movies.
Yes, I'm going to say yes.
I like that answer.
Above the line.
Above the line.
That could mean a number of things, Nigel.
It can. I have a feeling I know what it is, but I'm not sure. I'm going to say performance versus production, yes?
Yes.
Holy cow. We shocked the world on that one. All right, we have one more. Dylan, you get one more clue to try to pull from Nigel. It's like the Da Vinci Code over here.
Camera.
Oh, bloody hell. I don't really have one anymore. I dropped it down the staircase. But let me guess. I'd say not really. Let's go not really on that, because for me, it's not really.
That's fair. That's a fair answer. Dylan, you have a guess as to who Nigel may be, how you may be connected?
Oh, guys, here.
Drop character a bit there.
Yeah. Michael Fassbender.
Yes.
Oh, bloody hell. You're wrong.
Common link not identified.
Round 3, go every other and just throw stuff at each other. Don't even worry about the one-word questions. Just have at it.
All right. Since I'm Nigel and I'm number 1, I'll go for... Are you an actor?
Yes, sir. Are you an actor, sir?
Below the belt, yes. Bloody hell.
Michael Fassbender.
Never dated him. Does your first name begin with a J?
Yes, sir.
Followed by ASON?
No, sir.
Oh, cut that out, mate. Oh, bloody hell, almost had a heart attack.
On X-Men?
Yes, sir.
You guys were on the right track when Nigel came out hot with animation.
Yeah.
Were you in the X-Men?
No, sir.
Were you on top of one, nailing him down with feathers and cheese? I can't remember.
Not professionally, sir.
Right. Bloody hell.
I'll throw a hint out there if it helps. So, Dylan, you may know Nigel from his work in the 90s hit animated series Little Rosie. And please don't Google that. I don't need you going on Wikipedia.
Oh.
Dylan's first name is John.
No, sir.
Sugar.
All right, Nigel, you may know Dylan from his work on a show called Yellowstone.
What? Dylan, do you know a man named Tom?
It's a vague question, but fair nonetheless.
Production, sir?
Yes, sir.
I hear a lot of clicking.
He's trying to find my naked pictures online. Should have mentioned that Facebook, you know what I mean?
Dylan, what work in animation have you done?
Red Dead Redemption 2, sir.
Common link identified.
Nigel Hempstein has played Gambit on X-Men, a ton of characters on Celebrity Deathmatch, Little Rosie, as mentioned, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, which is my kid's favorite, and did supply the additional voices in Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's the common link. We actually nailed it. So I'm going to turn cameras on if that's okay with you guys.
Come on, Dylan.
There we go.
Oh, my God.
There we go.
Eagle fly.
Holy snap. What are you doing?
Oh, man.
That's really cool. You know, Jeremiah, I just got to do a Comic-Con. I don't know if you were at that one, Steve, but with Roger, Rob, and Benjamin from Red Dead.
Oh,
And
good guys. Those are fun guys.
Amazing dudes. It was a lot of fun.
And what voice on Daniel Tiger?
Well, it's a guy named X the Al. In fact, I was saying to Steve, we're doing them next week. I hope it turns out good. It's funny because it's just an impression of original from the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood series. And when I first heard him, I was like, wow, it's like George H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, my daughter loves Daniel Tiger.
It's a good show. I mean, it's really well produced, really well directed, and the working with those people is just so easy. What have you been doing with yourself lately?
We wrapped and finished our season for Better Call Saul, season 5. Yeah,
that's a great show.
So that's going. And then Bosch, I was they brought me on again for recurring on Bosch.
Is that shot in L.A. or?
Yeah, Bosch shoots in L.A. Better Call Saul shoots here in New Mexico, where I'm living now.
Yeah. I just saw last year I was invited to a red carpet, and I spent a good 15 minutes talking to Bob Odenkirk. He's a super dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he really is. You know, I've gotten to know him more, of course, the last 2 seasons. And so, but yeah, great people all around.
How's New Mexico? I was there, I'm going to say with, I ran into Jason Momoa at the Comic-Con there.
Oh, you were here for the Comic-Con. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
That's where I met Tony.
That's where we met, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Your family came down, right? All you boys?
Yeah, I was there with Davey Boy and my buddy Adrian.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Everything I hear from the guys from Red Dead, they have so much fun doing those Comic-Con shows.
We were doing San Antonio together, and I think that's the first time I met them. Anyway, and Roger and I, we really hit it off. Rob Wythoff, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And Ben's like, I think that guy's got an IQ of like 190 or something. That guy's like incredible genius. We had a great time together. So, but definitely if you want to talk about, Steve will hook us up after and we can talk. I've got a great agent back east who you'll love. This guy is really cool. COVID blows because we had, I think I've had 5 in a row that I've lost now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too, man. It's just,
sucks.
it's not up at the money for me. It's more about the fans. Cause I love the fans.
Yeah.
They're really good, dude. Like,
Yeah.
And,
I think I've only done one. But Giancarlo from from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Esposito.
Esposito. He does a ton of those, and he always has fun too. So and it's funny because I go through and I see some of the photos that people post, and he's doing our box cutter scene, where people, so the fans want to get their throat slit like I had mine. And so that's always a good time. But hopefully we can get out there, and once this all blows over, I'll see you out there.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. It'll be fun. I know the Red Dead guys, I was talking to Rob a couple of weeks ago after all the COVID stuff happened. He was so bummed out because it would have been fun just to hang out, even,
Yeah.
So hopefully on the upswing we'll be able to hang, and we'll get you out there. Especially Steve. I think we're the second one I just missed was in Edison, New Jersey.
Right here.
And so it would have been fun to have you up there because the people are cool. New Jerseyeites, they show up, man, and they support. Trust me.
Yeah, especially it seems like for the video game stuff, like people get really dressed up and they get into character, and that's fun to see. And there's been a lot of fan art. Like I get sent, people are tagging me now on all this Red Dead stuff, and it's amazing. The things they come up with are pretty amazing.
So you're dead now, though, right?
Yeah. You mean which?
In Saul.
Yeah. Oh no, on Saul I'm alive.
You're still alive, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna, for the most part, I think I'll live through the whole series.
Oh, good. Good.
Because I don't think we're going that deep into. Well, I don't know. We'll see. They may kill me again just for the heck of it.
Your character was pretty sick in Breaking Bad, so.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It's fun. We have fun to play these crazy characters,
Oh man, it's one of those, and I got to work on here. See, we have another connection too, because I got to work on the Kevin Hart Bryan Cranston movie. He's a super dude, really good to work with.
Yeah. I think everyone on both shows, like, of course, we've been together now for over 10 years, which is crazy,
Jeez, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, so a lot of our crew has stayed intact, and
plus you don't have to pay rents like we do in New York.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I love getting out to New York, but for now it's like we're here, and I don't know, for the most part I think we have a lot picking up back again once all this blows over. There's a ton of production, and I think is log jammed currently, and I don't know about you, but I think there's going to be a ton of work just because everyone's probably sick of watching the same Netflix shows and on-demand shows, new programming is going to be needed.
For Red Dead Redemption, what's that dynamic like? Are you going in studio, or?
It was all mocap.
Did you have the full outfit or just the headgear?
Yeah, the full, like we'd have to like go through the whole process of putting the suits on, and that was the first experience for me, so it was a ton of fun.
I was lucky because I only had to wear the headgear for that because I was just providing a couple of different voices for one's like and it's great because I was telling Roger, I go, hey, I used you to kill myself. It was like some town's mayor or something, and I walked up to myself and blew myself away.
So you guys don't typically like cross paths when you're doing a video game production?
No, not usually. Like when we were doing those for Red Dead, it was a lot of interaction with like the Dutch character, and
right,
and then of course like trying to think of the other character's name.
But there was Mason, and I think the three guys, the three main characters, they would go in the studio together. I think they went out to Long Island to do it.
Yeah, we do it in there was two different studios, and I think they changed their original Rockstar studio. I guess middle of the game they ended up remobilizing it. Anyways, so yeah, most of the scenes that we'd play out was with like most of my scenes were like with Dutch and Arthur and Charles. So yeah, all of that we'd actually act out, and then they'd bring in some of the townspeople or different folks every once in a while, and so it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Animation's always different too, Steve. We sometimes you'll go in like I think one of the last big ones I did was the late 90s. The Avengers was the last big. Oh, now Yin Yang Yo, we did a couple of sessions with 5 and 6 actors in the room. A lot of times you're in by yourself because it's lickety split, you're done. But the Avengers, because it was a team thing, they brought in all 8 of us at the same time, and it was really cool, and you get to interact and stuff. But the thing I liked about Yin Yang Yo is Steve Marmel, the comedian, writer, and one of the co-creators, I guess. He let us go to town on riffing our own stuff. So it was I give the line as written, and then I give my my improv stuff, and they'd go, "Can we keep that?" And it's like, "Yeah, for sure." And it was great. They let us away with it. The X-Men stuff, I was doing other characters on the X-Men. Chris Potter was the original Gambit, and I was actually playing Gambit's brother, Bobby LeBeau. And then Chris left the show, so they made me take over. I was lucking out because my best buddy is Tony Pastor, voice director. He was on Spider-Man and the Smurfs and stuff. I actually got to replace Jonathan Winters after he passed away as Papa Smurf in the second movie. It was me and John Biner, because there was a part where Papa Smurf was really sounding old, and so it was between me and John Biner filling in for him after he passed away. But but Tony had brought me on board with Stan Lee, so I got to work in LA with Stan Lee for about 5 years. It was fun.
Oh, that's
wow.
Good.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
He never knew my name. He never called me Tony. He called me Krog. Hey, Krog, how are you? I'm like, I do one character because he goes, I can only remember your character name. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. What are you going to do? Yell at Stan,
That's awesome. That's amazing.
You guys want questions from the audience?
Sure.
Okay, so, this is for Tony. So Nick C writes, with all the voices you do, how do you know which one is your real voice?
I actually like that question because I don't even know, to be honest. Some days I just go... because it changes so much, and when you're doing a ton of different voices. So I've done, like, in film ADR, I've done probably film and TV. I think my agent counted like 650 celebrities.
Oh my God.
So you name a celebrity, I could pretty well do it or figure it out. The only guy I couldn't do, because he gave me hell, is Donald Sutherland. This is a true story. This will freak you out. So I left the studio one night, and I go across to the restroom. And I'm in there, and there's this tall guy standing next to me doing his number, and I'm doing my number. And he looks down, and he goes, "Hello." And I go, "Oh, holy crap, it's Donald Sutherland." Right? And I go, so he's we started talking because I worked for his daughter Rachel, who's Kiefer Sutherland's twin sister is Rachel Sutherland, and she's a producer in film. She does a lot of ADR stuff. So I went and did an ADR for her, and she's really sweet to work with. So easy going. And then when I was a kid, I used to play billiards with Kiefer. So we knew each other from that part. We never worked together. So it's a really cool story because I was standing there, and so he says, "How do you know my daughter?" And I said, "Well, I've done ADR for her." And he goes, "Oh, what kind of ADR do you do?" And I go, "Well, I replace other actors' voices." He goes, "Have you ever done mine?" I go, "No." And he goes, "Good, because I'd sue you." I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
You could do voices too.
A little, it's funny because I used to, I'd get, when I was having to drive back and forth between New Mexico and LA when I was in college, I'd get bored on the drives because it's, like 900 miles. And I would just start prank calling family members. Like after about like 500 miles in, I'd just start calling. And everyone was pretty nice except one aunt. I'd call her, and I knew the whole spiel because I was a telemarketer. So I would just do, in like an East Indian voice, I'd do, my telemarketing pitch. And I was pretty good like back then on keeping people on the phone. So she'd get so frustrated though. Eventually she'd cuss me out, hang up on me. But yeah, that was fun.
Oh man, see, too bad we didn't know each other before, because for years I've been doing stuff, and I'm still like part-time for Howard Stern. So
Awesome.
but I did way more phone calls back in the day. Really funny stuff. And the funny thing was, you have to actually legally get permission to put them on air. So that was the tough part. I probably threw away thousands of calls because you call back going, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Howard, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, you can't put that on air. You cannot put that on air. I'm like, damn. Did you guys ever hear on Stern the Pavarotti call? La, 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 la. Yeah. So that one, we called back and the girl was freaking out because they just sent up something like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of food to Pavarotti's room. Yeah, and he wasn't even staying at the hotel.
Oh, wow. Oh my God.
We just picked a random room, 1102 or something, and they sent all this food and stuff up. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so we had to call back and we offered her a couple of freebies, and she didn't get in trouble. So we gave a shout out to the hotel that we pranked. That was good. And one of the worst ones was I was doing a radio show and I got off air, and on the other talk station, they had a Canadian astronaut named Bjarne Tryggvason. He comes off air and he's standing outside. I'm leaving the station. I'd done my production. I left. And I'm seeing the head of NASA Canada standing with this astronaut. And I got a little pickup truck, and I come over and I go, hey, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we've been waiting for like a half hour for a cab. And I'm like, wow, where do you want to go? We have an interview at this television station downtown. I'm like, I'm on the way down there. You want to ride? Cool. So I had a freaking astronaut in my truck. So he goes, tell her the story. And I said, yeah, we, a few years ago, we called, as Prime Minister Jean Chrétien, we phoned the NASA. And so the guy I was working with, the main radio guy, Jesse Dillon, one of the big, voice guys. And he's like, hi, this is Officer Rogers from the RCMP, Fred Rogers. It's like, oh yeah, I've heard that name. So we did all these tests with Jim Navius from NASA, and they tested my voice, and they said, so what we're going to do is we'll give you the go, and then you have the Prime Minister read his message to Canadian astronaut Mark Garneau. So they said, okay, you're on. And that's like, so he's going, say all that weird. We wrote a bunch of stuff we were going to say that was like really off the wall. And I said, we better not do that. Why? Because we're going to go to jail. And I'm telling you. So the guy gets on. I go, this is a private message to Mark Garneau. We just want to say Godspeed, return to Earth safely, and all this stuff. Right? I did it like a statesman would do it. And then we got a call the next day from the FBI.
Oh my God!
They came to the radio station. Yeah, and they're like, you're lucky this was an election year. Otherwise, we'd probably want to charge you. And I'm like, so. Fast forward to this astronaut sitting. So we told this lady, and she turns to me. She goes, "You are the bastard!" Huh? And because she was French, Nicole, and she says, I owe you and I hate you at the same time. I go, why? She goes, because she stopped the phone call from going up to the shuttle. And I didn't know this. It's like $20,000 a minute to send a message. So she said, had the message gone up from the fake prime minister, I would get fired. Had it been the real prime minister, and I didn't send it up, I would get fired. But what had happened was they did tracebacks, and they found out where I was, the studio.
Oh my God.
Isn't that freaky?
Wow.
But that's a cool thing. So you do a lot of voices, and what ends up happening, you really work your station tubes, because, you have a certain tone, and these tubes down here will sort of lock into where you normally sound. But because I use them all the time, sometimes they're lax, and then you can go higher. It's like filling in for like Tom Kenny as SpongeBob. So you have all kinds of crap you do, and then so eventually you do sometimes get lost in there going, which one am I?
Let's say someone asked you to do an appearance or a cameo or something like that. Are there characters that you're not allowed to use?
Well, pretty well. If you think about it, if it's for film and stuff, they have rights, and TV, they have rights for you to do your own ADR and stuff. If you're not available, that's when they bring a guy like me in. But for instance, years ago, I was doing a commercial with another really good impressionist friend of mine. He was playing, I believe it was, Jimmy Stewart, talking about old actors. And I was playing Stallone, right? So my character's going, so you mean with the amazing video machine, you could rent Rocky 1, then Rocky 2, then Rocky 2? You know, so then he's doing, this is Jimmy Stewart, and I like the amazing video machine. And so anyway, we got these cease and desist orders, like you cannot use the voices. And then we're like, Jimmy Stewart, but he's dead. But his estate said no, you can't use them, and we got named on the lawsuits. And then yes, but they ended up dropping them because we just said okay, and they pulled the ads and stuff like that. And then this other guy I was telling you about, Raymond, he did Robin Leach, right? Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. It's fantastic, right? And so one day I'm at a friend's studio in a little town called Mississauga in Canada. And I'm going, and I knew he produced Lifestyles. So I'm like, wouldn't it be fabulous if he was standing right behind me? And he goes, I am. And I had just told the story how he sued my friend. And I was like, why are you here? And he goes, because we shoot the show here. So he was actually nice. He said, but don't use my voice because I will sue. I'm like, oh, okay.
So Hunter from West Milford says, what's your favorite role and why is it Victor?
If it is Victor, Victor's that's a huge role for me. I mean, in terms of coming out of college, and then I don't know, just kind of day playing, having different gigs come up, and then I thought it was going to be kind of another day playing role, where I just co-star for a day, which is what day playing is. You may come back possibly, but at that time I never even expected any of that to happen. So to get the call in the fourth or the third season, and them saying, hey, we created a character and it's Victor, and you're recurring and you're going to guest star, as I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. So I mean, I definitely give a lot of credit to that character, and even being in the character in a sense now today, as far as we're about to go into our 6th season, knock on wood, once all this wraps and then we're done with writing. I definitely think it's a great character to kind of still be in that space of we have a lot of crazy material that they throw at us with Better Call Saul, and of course through Breaking Bad. So I guess the thing is just keep continuing to make it interesting, and this last season they kind of, I won't ruin it, no spoilers, but I try to have fun with it. So I mean, even if it's something that you think you're playing a character that's supposed to be so menacing, I like to do the play against and kind of be playful. And I think that's what makes characters like Tony Dalton, like his character as Lalo, it makes them so interesting. So bad guys are fun to play, and but just to kind of wrap it up, like there was a manager that I had, and she was a manager for Benicio del Toro. She helped start his career, and so everything she said in that period of time, like, was gold. It was like, yeah, tell me exactly what I need to do. But she was, for the longest time, and she was like, I'm not going to put you out for bad guy roles or characters. She says, you're the guy next door. You're the friendly boyfriend, the guy that ends up getting, dumped for the leading man. I was like, wow, thanks. And so kind of refreshing to play the bad guy.
Jeremiah, if you don't mind, if you had to choose, it says boat out at sea, you can only save one, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
Ooh.
Oh God, that's tough. So if I was going to save one show, and I only had a chance to save one show.
Yeah, like you're on a boat for some reason also.
On a boat, and there's so I would say I would say I'd save Better Call Saul season 6, which is still to come.
See, it's always the next job. I love that.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that there's the overlap. So that's my answer.
Cool, man.
All right, guys.
Later.
Right.
Bye, Steve.
See you, Tony.
The Common Link podcast is sponsored in part by
xywebsolutions.com.
Follow @Common Link Podcast on Instagram for the latest info and releases.